Hello guys, in this video I'm going to show you how you can implement logging system in your Kubernetes cluster. For this we are going to use Elasticsearch as a database along with Fluentd, which will transfer the logs from the Kubernetes node to the Elasticsearch database, and along with that we will use Kibana to visualize our logs. Okay. One more thing, we are going to implement logtrail as a plugin in Kibana through which we can use the functionality of live tailings. Let's say we want to see the live tail of the logs running in, of the pod running in a Kubernetes cluster. So how we can see it? So let's quickly get started. So let's see how many nodes we have in our current Kubernetes cluster. So right now I am having one node, okay, which is of let me check its configuration. So as you can see, it's a T3 dot medium, but Elasticsearch require more memory, so we will provision another node group in which we will we give more memory, let's say 16 GB around RAM. Okay, so for that I am going to provision a R4 series. Okay, so let's quickly create it. I have already written a command to create, and I am going to label the node with server is equal to login. Okay, so let's quickly create this node group, and I am going to tell that this will be of configuration, let's say okay, I'm going to launch mission going in R series, yeah, R4 dot large. It will give me 16 GB RAM and 120, 122 GB RAM and 16 CPUs. Okay, so I'm going to use R4.4x large. Or we can generally paste it here. Okay, I'm going to create it. Here you can see I am labeling the node with server is equal to login. So I'm pausing this video until it got provision. Okay. Okay, so my terminal got stuck. I can't enter into it, but I have opened another tab or terminal, and I can see that my node is provisioned. Okay, so this is my node, which is provisioned 72 seconds ago, and if I see its labels, see here you can see the server logging label is now attached with that node. So I'm going to provision Elasticsearch and Kibana in that node only, and Fluentd will run as a daemon set on this cluster. Okay, so let's quickly create uh, a image for Kibana, which we are going to use. We are not going to use the predefined image. We are going to use our custom image. Okay, so let's quickly create our image. For that I have another host. Okay, let's go to my account docker.com. I'm going to create a repository. Let's call it Kibana logtrail, and it will be a public repository. Let's create it, and it is showing me a push command. So I'm going to create a directory. Let's create a file in which we have mentioned about the logtrail configuration. So as you can see, I have to create a file logtrail.json in that format, in which timestamp is display timestamp, host name would be the Kubernetes pod name, program would be the container name inside that pod, and message would be the log itself. So let's quickly create JSON and copy that content. I'll give you the GitHub link of that file and Docker file as well. Now let's quickly create a Docker file. I'm going to use Elasticsearch 7.9.2. Okay, and I'm going to download a plugin, Logtrail plugin 7.9.2. So I'm going to show you from where I have downloaded that plugin. Okay, so Logtrail, it will show me a GitHub repository. Okay, so it is the GitHub repository. Let's go to releases, and you can see here it's the 6th version. Now the latest is 7.9.2. That's why I am using the Kibana version. I'm in the Kibana image version with 7.9.2. Okay, so here you can see from dockers elastic.co/kibana 7.9.2 plugin installation /bin Kibana plugin installed, and that link URL which, how I copied it, simply go to copy that, okay, and paste it as it is and copy the logtrail JSON. Okay, I have created that file. Now I'm going to create a Docker file. So here it is, my Docker file. Now I'm going to create a Docker image. I have given that name Sagar Kaushal 1 Kibana logtrail. So I'm going to build, let me give it a name v1 and dot. So it is creating image. Now the image is ready. Now I'm going to first of all, let's say unauthorized. Yeah, succeeded. Okay, now I'm going to list. So here you can see it's the image name and the tag is v1. It is taking time, so let's quickly create another software components configuration files. So let's quickly create Elasticsearch. I'm going to use the same Elasticsearch version 7.9.2. Okay, I have created a file in which I have written all the configurations. So first of all, let's quickly create a service for Elasticsearch. I'm going to use it. First of all, let's quickly check whether we have a namespace or not. We don't have that namespace, so quickly create group login. Now the namespace is created. Create directory viessvc.yml. Let's create and let's say it is a headless service. And I pasted content. Why headless? Because we have selected cluster IP none. Okay. So instead of load balancing, it will directly return the IP address of that pods. Now let's quickly create a node pod service for Elasticsearch as well. I have I have written the type node pod and it will automatically take a node pod between 30,000 to 3,000. Let's say. So we have two files now for service of Elasticsearch. Now we are going to create a stateful set of Elasticsearch and then we will apply it at the same time. So we have a stateful set. I'm going to use the node selector server logging as I have shown you. I have created a node with a label as server logging. I show you. See server logging. So I'm using that same label here because it was r4.x okay. Containers Elasticsearch. I'm using the same image. The port will be same and this will be my pods inside that stateful set. And one more thing, I'm using a init container which will set my vmmax map count. So how you can see it, if you simply type systemctl vmmax count, it will show you and it will return the count. If it is 262144 and above, then you can leave it. Otherwise, I am using that command to set it. Okay, and the privilege true. Now I'm going to claim a template, I mean volume claim, so that it got a persistent volume. I'm going to write it GP2 as I'm using AWS EKS, so it's GP2 and the storage is 20 GB of hard disk. So let's quickly create that stateful set and I am creating in kube logging system. So it got stuck. I mean, I have to again log in into that server and push it again. No issues. Let's create ES stateful and I'm going to paste it. So here my Elasticsearch files are completed. Okay. So let's quickly Suppose it's it's not working, so I am opening it a new terminal. Increasing the font size. I'm again pushing it. Right, let's see if it is pushed or not. Yeah, already is pushed, and now we have created Elasticsearch configurations file, or we can say YAML solid stateful set YAML. Now I'm going to create it. So it got created, and if I see the pods in queue logging system, so it is creating. So while it is creating, we are going to prepare our Kibana configuration. Okay, file. So let's say now here is the Kibana. First of all, Kibana service node port, and Kibana service deployment. Okay, so I am going to use here Sagar partial, that image we have just created. Um, yeah, this one. I'm using the node selector as same, which I've used in a stateful set of Elasticsearch. Okay, the namespace is cube login. I'm going to put all this in a single file. Copy it. Let's see how many pods has been created. So two are in running state, one is in still creating state, and if we see kubectl get pvc hyphen n cube logging, it will show me 3. Yeah, 3. And if you show kubectl get pv, so as you can see we have 3 pv as well. And if we again check the pods, so all the pods are in running state. Now we are going to create Kibana file. I'm going to oops, copy that stuff. Yeah, and again, yeah. Now I'm going to apply this Kibana configuration file. So it's in creating state. So I haven't mentioned the name of namespace. So it's pulling image and successfully pulled image. Yeah. So if we check for pod of Kibana, it's in running state. So now let's see how many services we have created. Yeah, one headless service, this one node port service, one Kibana, and this one is a Kibana node port service. So let's quickly open it. I have allowed all the 30 to 33,000 port in security group, so it will not be I will open it from outside the cluster, from anywhere. 31238. The Kibana server is not ready, so let's check the Kibana server logs. So it is still, it is not ready yet. It will take some time. So in the meanwhile, what we can do is we can implement the daemon set of Fluentd. So Fluentd requires cluster role with binding so that it can, fetch the logs from var log container. I'll show you the directory as well. Yeah, var log docker containers. Okay, so from that, it will fetch the logs and send it to Elasticsearch. So first of all, let's quickly create a service account for Fluentd, then a cluster role and a binding with it. Okay, again, it's a daemon set, so I'm not going to use a node selector. It will run on each node of the Kubernetes cluster. Okay, so I'm going to use from there. I'm going to say it as Fluentd. Let's see if Kibana is up or not. Mm, yeah, Kibana is up now. But I'll make the changes later. First, let's quickly create Fluentd configuration file. So it's my Fluentd configuration file, and I'm going to attach it. Oh, sorry, I'm going to create it. So see, service account created, cluster role binding created, cluster role created, and a daemon set. See, we have two nodes. So two nodes, two daemon set. Okay, if I search for kubectl get ds -n cube, it will show me Fluentd to desired, to count, to ready, up to date. Okay, so my Fluentd is ready. So let's quickly go on browser and add the index pattern. It is asking me for index pattern. If I say log I search, click create index pattern, and this will be my index pattern. Let's quickly search, select this, next tab. Okay, timestamp at the red timestamp and create index pattern. So if you go again to discover, see, you can see the logs from the Kubernetes cluster is shipping to Elasticsearch. See, the logs are started shipping to Elasticsearch from Fluentd and Kibana is visualizing it. Okay, so let's quickly create a dip pod, a custom pod who sends some data, who prints some data, and Fluentd will fetch that log and transfer to Elasticsearch, and then we can see it here from Kibana dashboard. Okay, so here I have created a file, a pod, simple a pod, which will simply print the date and sleep for 1 second, and then again print the date and sleep for 1 second. I'm using BusyBox. I have created it. If I say pods, it's test pod logging, it's running, and if we see the logs of that pod in terminal itself, see it is writing data 1 second and then sleep and then again 1 second, and it is printing in a sequential order. So now how we can see that log in Kibana? I mean, we have to search here, filter by type, so it's a lengthy process. So how so what I have done is I have installed a plugin called logtrail. Okay, so go to logtrail, simple. See, if I click on all system, here all the pods I can see now, and if I click on test pod, see it's 227 and here 227. Date is same and it's printing and it's the live logs. I mean it's the tail logs which I'm getting from the terminal. See, it's 28, 2057, 39. It will take some time. I mean 2057, 30. But it is a live tail and we can set many things here. We can use license query here. Okay, let's say we don't want to use this, we want all system logs, and if I click on it, okay, so it is showing me the container pod of EBS CSI, and if I click on it, see it's a license query. Okay, and if I go and seek to something like date of frame last Friday, see it will show me that oldest event reached because we don't have that much log in Elasticsearch. Okay, so we can simply cross it. So we can use multiple. Let's say we want to use 2220. Okay, so 22 20 p.m. Tuesday and seek 29 10:20 p.m. to now. Okay, let's say it's it's still 28, I guess. So yeah, it's still 28. So let's say June 29. The pod is returning June 29 to 28. I used wrong way to 28 a.m. So seek to this. So these are the pods. Okay, so this way I used to see the logs. Okay, so I think this video is informative for you. Thank you.